Lorefi is a lo-fi ARG created by MatPat, and boy is it amazing. With just one looping video on a 24/7 live stream, it may seem very small with not a lot of information, but this one video we can glean an inordinate amount of information, and we need your help. I will be splitting this video into sections: what we know, what we think, and what we need to find out. At the end of the video, I will be listing a few common theories and their evidence. I would also like to say that this video is geared more towards people who don't know much about Lorefi, so if you already do, I recommend watching mostly the part of this video where I talk about the theories, but the rest of this video could be interesting for you to watch as well. First off, what did the video show us? We hold a shot of a room. Sitting on the ground, leaning on her desk, is a girl named Taylor, or Taylor. She is listening to music from her computer, and she has a lot of items scattered around her room. Some notable places are shelves above her bed, the cabinet, the desk, and the corkboard. Throughout the video, she bops along to all the songs, and something's happened in her room. Every 10 minutes or so, the computer boots up a screensaver, which she turns off shortly after. The outdoors get gradually darker and lighter to show the passage of time. Every once in a while, a message pops up on her screen from different people, and near the end, she gets tracked down by a figure from her door. Now, all this happens in the live stream, but we also have a video. From what I can tell, the live stream is just the video on loop, but the video does have a few extra things, including an intro where we are introduced to the character Gregory. We are told that he has been kidnapped. As of now, nothing has really come of this. At the end, we also get a moment where it seems like he's talking to one of the kidnappers, and he's like, "Oh, you want me to do what? Oh, okay, I guess I'll do it." We're not sure what it is yet. So we need more information to figure out what is up with that, because it really isn't mentioned at any other point in time. Some things around her room let us get insights into her life. The main thing that I noticed first is the big poster on the wall that says Remnant. This is likely a band that she listens to. Also in the video, a message pops up from her friend talking about what sounds like the band, which could definitely be Remnant. We also know that from the Spotify playlist, she likes to pirate music. But do keep in mind that despite what the name says, it is definitely not 2002. If we look through her books, we can see that one of them is a book called Looking for Alaska, written by John Green and released in 2005. So unless she's a time traveler, this takes place after 2005. We can also see a picture frame of what looks like a family photo, and the dad is crossed out. Using this, paired with the to-do list on the wall, we can assume that the dad is divorced out of the family. Some people believe that he's dead, which cannot be the case because he messages Taylor in the video. And now some of the puzzles that we figured out. Throughout the video, there are hidden spectrograms during the songs, and the first one that I came to notice is this one that looks like a duck. This is also the channel icon. It is important to note that these ducks appear in many other places in the ARG. I'll talk a little bit about this later. Another spectrogram shows these weird symbols. A loyal MatPat enjoyer will recognize these as the Game Theory ARG alphabet, and it translates to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, repeating over and over. I think this could just be MatPat telling us that we need to use this code in the future, but that could be wrong. The reason I think this is because it just is the numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in ascending order. The final spectrogram I'll mention is this one that looks like a map. People have tied this to a map of Illinois, and it looks very similar, but that's up to your interpretation. This is possibly hinting at where this takes place. There are some other suspicious spectrograms, but these are the three that have real meanings as of now. The other ones can kind of look like something if you tilt your head and squint. Now, there are a lot of puzzles in this that we have not solved. Now, these puzzles could just be random things in the world. I'm not sure if they're puzzles. None of us are really 100% sure, but some of them are very intriguing and seem extremely specific. One thing that I'm going to mention is the Christmas lights on the back wall. They seem to be in a very specific color pattern that is repeating, and people have tried translating this in many different ways. People have tried Morse in a bunch of different ways and it hasn't really worked. People have tried taking the first letter of each color and assembling that in some way to get a code, and it hasn't really worked out as well. It is very important to note that the lights are a repeating pattern, so it is quite possible that this is not just an arbitrary detail. One other thing to note is that the lights do flicker at around an hour into the video, but we are not sure what this means. It could definitely be Morse code, but it is extremely difficult to translate if it is. One other thing, which seems very arbitrary at first, but once you look at the evidence behind it, it's very clearly a puzzle, is this Rubik's Cube up on the cabinet. Now you might just say, oh, that's just a random Rubik's Cube, until you look at the album covers of one of the songs from Spotify, Tape Recorder. this shows an unsolved Rubik's Cube as well, connecting the two together. It's also good to note that the tape recorder letters are all colors that are also on the Rubik's Cube. People have tried many different ways of solving this. People have even created the Rubik's Cube solve themselves and tried to like solve it and see if there's any like weird thing that it happens when you do so, but no one's really found a compelling way to solve this. People have also tried to connect this to the lights that I mentioned earlier, and also this slinky up on the cabinet, but from what I can see, nothing really has come of that. People also suspect that the books on the bookshelf could have some meaning with their order, but I kind of doubt that because they're all books written by real people and not fake artists and stuff like that. The final puzzle that I'm going to mention that hasn't really been solved yet, and this is the one that I think could very possibly be a puzzle, but also very possibly could not be, and it is this Connect 4 grid up here. When I saw this, I immediately translated it to Morse, and it immediately came out as nothing. I tried translating it to binary as well, and I couldn't really figure out any good way to make that work. But this does seem like a very, very specific order of placements. So I think that it is very important for us to look into this more. And I did lie because I just remembered something. When you change the like exposure and stuff of the Lorefi channel banner, you get a message saying, "Are you listening closely?" And then also that duck image again. But you also get a ton of these black squares. Now these squares, I myself have theorized that it could possibly be a dot cipher of some kind, maybe some sort of dot font or dotsies I heard, but dotsies haven't really worked out very well. But this is 110% a puzzle that has 110% not been solved yet. One thing that I would like to mention, which kicks us into the theory section of the video, is that at one point in the video, a virus scan picks up 13 suspicious files that might contain malware, and then purges 12 of them. The final file that remains could possibly be a Trojan. We know that she pirates music, and with this comes many dangers. My theory is that when pirating music from her favorite band, Remnant, her computer got hacked by a Trojan virus. This virus has the duck logo, I think. That would make sense why it keeps popping up hidden in many different spots. One other theory that I see very often is that Taylor is a robot. This would make sense with the whole Gregory is a robot meme. The real evidence, though, is two things. One, she never sleeps during the video, even though it seems as if many days are going by, and she also has very repetitive and robotic movements. A third thing that is slightly important is that she doesn't blink super often, but she does actually blink, so I decided really not to focus on it too much. I think both of these things could be explained by the fact that it is a lo-fi channel and it needs to be a looping video, and watching her sleep for 8 hours would not be very entertaining, especially because she wouldn't be listening to music in that time, meaning for 8 hours we just have a silent stream. One final theory that I'm going to mention goes back to Gregory from the beginning of the video, and it's that he is Taylor's brother. I do not believe this theory for many reasons. One, he's not in the family photo that we see. Two, I don't think that she would be that chill if her brother was kidnapped. And three, she just threw away a newspaper about Gregory. In the trash bin, we see the newspaper calling out a local boy's gone missing, and that's where it is. It's in the waste bin. It clearly shows that she knows Gregory's missing, but she doesn't care that much. Now, if you could think of any other theories or anything that I missed, please leave a comment below. I also have links for the Reddit server and the Discord server in the description if you want to help the community solve. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I plan to do more of these in the future, so subscribe if you want to see that.